Hello. This is one of the few times I've ever filmed outside, and it's like today is Halloween, so it's Friday, October 31st, 2025, and it's probably one of the last few nice days we'll have. So it's a great night to take my son trick-or-treating, but I always feel kind of awkward because I know that they're both residents of the homes on either side of me. At least one resident within the home is home all the time. And so I feel awkward. Like, what if they're outside doing yard work or something and they hear me talking? But I don't know. It's also like, okay, it's 2025. A lot of people do stuff like this. Anyway, I'm going to try to make this little part short, but we'll see. I say that all the time and it never is. Also, please ignore me. I look like a mess. I've just kind of been in my lounge clothes all day today because we didn't do homeschool today or anything, I guess in honor of Halloween. Anyway, so yeah, I look like a mess. Okay, here's what I want to talk about though. Tomorrow, November 1st, Saturday, November 1st, is the first day of Sarra Cannon's, Sarra Cannon of the Heart Breathings channel. It's the first day of her Rough Draft Challenge, which is her answer to the collapse of NaNoWriMo. NaNoWriMo, I think, officially was dead as of last year. There was no NaNoWriMo anymore. Might have even been the year before. I only fully participated in it in 2015 in NaNoWriMo. I always tried every year past that. I just never got around to actually doing it. But 2015 was really my first full on, had a project, worked on it during the entire month of November. I got to 36,000 words or something. And it was the most I'd ever written on a single project at that time. So, and that project still to this day, even now 10 years later, exactly 10 years later, is kind of my baby. I have tried to revisit it a couple times and I just don't, I feel like it's too big for me right now. I just don't feel like I'm there as a writer to tackle what's ultimately kind of an epic fantasy, and it's just not, I'm just not there yet as a writer. But anyway, so tomorrow is November 1st, 2025. I've already said that, but there you go again, just in case you forgot. And I don't fully, so I have the planner. This is my writing life everything planner, my happy planner. I've mentioned it before. One of these days I'll do a flip through of it, kind of just show you how I have it set up. But I've got the Rough Draft Challenge planner from Sarra Cannon in here. I don't have the whole planner. I just have the planning pages because I use obviously the actual planner, or my happy planner for my planner. But so I've got the planner in here. And I've done some of the pages, but I'm trying to figure out what my actual project is. I've got a few ideas. So my first idea is to just start fresh with a new idea, just for fun, maybe even try something a little different than what I normally write, and shoot for the kind of traditional 50,000 words in 30 days. Just try to do a novella / short novel. I have an idea for what that would be. I'm just not 100% sure yet. So there's one idea, just starting from scratch and just for fun, right? Eventually I would want to do something with it, but I just mean something totally new to me that's I don't really have on my radar other than a little blip of an idea, and just go for it. And I shouldn't say it's not entirely something I wouldn't write. It's actually quite up my alley. I think it's just something that there's a little bit more of a romance element to it, and I'll just say what it is. So the idea, if I did more of a novella, would be a kind of like a Hallmark Christmas movie romance, but with a horror element. I think I first got the idea to do something like that 2 years ago, when I think maybe it's just even 1 year ago. I think it was Nate Bargatze, the comedian, hosted SNL, and they did this skit of a Hallmark Halloween movie, and I just thought it was really funny, and I'm I love that idea. I think I don't watch a lot of Hallmark Christmas movies, or Hallmark movies in general. But I was like, oh my God. But everyone knows the tropes, right? Like, it's a very well-known trope of what they are, and even Hallmark movies themselves now make fun of it a little bit. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, that would be so fun. Like, you could make it really campy, but also genuinely kind of unsettling, and I just loved the idea of it. And I love a good love story, so I always like to have a little bit of an element of a love story in my story, in what I write. Usually, not always, but a lot. If I'm writing a longer piece, I like to have some element of a love story, just because I do enjoy that. Clean love stories. But I'm just like, oh man, like, that would be so fun. Anyway, so I love the idea of that. Plus, it's kind of like already the holiday season, or we're going into that. And I'm like, oh, perfect. Like, I would just definitely have all the vibes going, you know, the music, the feeling, So anyway, I just feel like that would be a good time to work on something like that. Okay, so that's idea number 1. Idea number 2 is I would like to put together I've had an idea for an anthology for a really long time. I won't share quite yet what the anthology is, but it is like a themed anthology where all the stories have something in common. Not like they take place in the same world, or even that there's overlap or anything like that, but just there's a running theme, particularly with regards to setting. Or the element of setting, I guess. So anyway, I have had this idea for about a year to make this anthology with these short stories, obviously, and because that's what you put in an anthology. So I thought about maybe picking 3 or 4, because there's 4 weeks in November. So I thought about either doing a full 4, so 1 story a week, or 3 stories a week, because the last week of November is my son's birthday, it's Thanksgiving, it's Stranger Things season 5 finale, or the first part of it being released. So I'm like, okay, like, I probably won't get a ton of writing done that week, so maybe I'll do 3 stories, focus on 1 each week, and then that final week I'll do just like a catch up if I have to, because realistically I'll probably have to do a little bit of catch up. So that's my other idea, is to basically just do 3. And I'll just say now, 3 short stories. I won't try for 4. I'll do 3 short stories, or this, a short novel / novella. That's kind of a new idea. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Haven't fully decided, but I have it's almost 4:00, so not very many hours left of the day to decide. So I want to make that decision. I don't know if I'll make that on camera right now, but I want to make the decision by the end of the night. And, sorry. And, on top of that, I would like to, I'm also thinking about I don't think I would do a daily. I'm not up for doing like a daily update, but I do think I might want to try my hand at doing a weekly update on where I'm at with my rough draft challenge, and so I think I might do that. So I'm gonna try. So look forward to that. Hopefully we will see how it goes, and ideally this will be the first part of that, or at least the intro to that. Maybe I'll do, I guess that's what I would do, especially because it's starting on a Saturday. It's kind of the perfect time to do like an intro video like this, and then do an update like every Sunday or something like that. Maybe I'll do that. That sounds fun. I'm verbally processing my ideas. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at right now, with trying to decide which project I want to work on. So I'm sitting outside on this nice Halloween late afternoon, and I've got my planner, and I've got my festive fall themed pens, my Inkjoy gels. I've also got a black one. And I guess black is festive with Halloween today, so there we go. And I've got my whiteout because that's always needed, and I've got my coffee in my mug that I got from the Greek Festival in Houston, Texas in May, when I went for my writing retreat with all of my writing friends, so that was very fun. And I also think I might be going on a solo writing retreat during this month, actually. We have friends that have a condo that's not too far from here, and they've always offered it to us if we ever wanted to get away for a weekend or whatever. So I'm gonna ask and see if that's available on the dates that would work for me. And if it is, I might do a little solo writing retreat by myself, because solo by myself, that's what solo means. There you go. So I might do that. And if I do that, it would also be kind of an additional challenge for me, because I kind of can get, I don't mind being by myself, but I can get a little anxiety driving on the interstate by myself if I'm not familiar with the route. And even though this is a route that I have taken several times, I've never been the one driving there, so I get a little nervous. But it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, is get myself more used to driving by myself, or at least being the main driver on the interstate, for a couple of reasons. One of those reasons is I would really like to go, there's a monastery about 6 hours away from here, and I would really love to go there by myself here within the next year or so, as like on a solo, pilgrimage. So I would like to do that. Of course, I would like to go with my family too, but like it would just be fun to go, and also just kind of challenge myself in that way. And that route to where this monastery is, I've taken several times as well. Again, I'm just never the driver. And I also have some story ideas that take place on this route, and so I would really like to drive that route one more time, or a couple more times, ideally, because anyway, I'm starting to ramble, but I would really like to take that route and make some story notes as well. Even though I'd be going for a spiritual reason, it would be nice to also kind of just be making some little mental notes for a story that I have in my head. So anyway, that is kind of where I'm at. This video is now 12 minutes long. I think this might be one of my shorter videos for as of late. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of share that that's what I am doing. I am going to be working on that here for the next little bit of time. The sun is really starting to be warm on me though, but it is really nice. And again, we won't really get too many more nice days, I don't think, now that the cold weather is right around the corner. So I'm a cold weather gal. I like the colder weather. I prefer colder weather, but still, I won't always be able to sit outside, and I do like sitting outside. So with that, I will keep you posted on what story I choose. Update. Still messy, still outside, still have a little bit of coffee left, although it is not very warm at all. Okay, so I opened up my rough draft challenge, the planner, and I started, so it's actually on the page where it's like, what is the central conflict of the story? And so it's a whole page, but instead of writing the central conflict, I actually went ahead and made a pros and cons list of both of my ideas, right? The Hallmark style story or the short story collection. And as I wrote the pros and cons, there weren't really many pros or cons for either of them. So for the Hallmark style story, my pros were it would be a lot of fun, and as much as how do I explain this? It almost feels a bit more commercial, and I've always kind of seen myself as being a bit more of a commercial craftsman. I love like well-written, beautiful, prose, that sort of thing, and just deeper stories and that, like that. But I also I like the craft, like just craftsmanship when it comes to writing. But also I'm like pop culture. I love pop culture. I like, I don't mind commercial things that, to some extent, that sort of thing. And also, like, realistically, I want to sell my books, right? I want to write and I want to have people read them because I want I want people to read my work, but I also would like to eventually make a living off of this, right? So I'm like, okay, that feels a little bit more commercial to me. So there's that element of it. Also, plus novellas and novels, just Zelda, dog's barking. Novellas and novels, just in general, like typically in. Not that anthologies don't do well or can't do well, but it might be an easier sell. Anyway, that's what I mean by that. Zelda. Stop. The other thing is that it's, like I mentioned earlier, it's the right season to write it in. It just feels like I would have a lot of inspiration. There's going to be a lot of Christmas movies and Hallmark movies coming out, so I can definitely like draw from that. Plus there are a few Christmas, like spooky Christmas movies I could draw from as well. And like some camping. Anyway, there's a lot that I could pull from right now. It's just easily accessible to me right now. So, or coming up. And so I'm like, okay, this is also good. Zelda. Okay, the con of the Hallmark story is simply that I did not do any of the planning during Preptober, so I would have to basically write the outline the first week of November, or at least over the course of a couple of days. Probably wouldn't take me the full week to do an outline, but at least a couple of days, because I'm really kind of starting from scratch with the actual plot. I don't have a plot, not yet anyway, so I'm like, that would be the con of that. I feel like I've lost time, so I'm going to have to spend some of the time that I would ideally spend writing actual words. I'm going to have to use that on the planning. Okay, short story collection, the 3 short stories. The pros of that is I might actually be a bit more successful in the sense of actually finishing it. So I guess you could say that that's also a con of the Hallmark style story, that it might, and I'm just calling it Hallmark style story, but I might not end up finishing that, right? Because it's going to be longer. It's going to be I'm going to have to spend more time with the outline, that sort of thing. So I might actually. So the pro of the short story anthology is I might actually. Well, and I'm only writing 3 of those short stories, so I might actually finish them all, right? And of course, it can go into an anthology, or it can also go into my next issue of my fiction zine, which is available on my Etsy shop, but my Etsy shop is on vacation for the holidays. It will be back in January, and I would like to have another product on there, and I was hoping it would be another issue of my fiction zine. It's called the Neon Potato. My zine, not my Etsy shop, is called Purple New Press, but my zine is Neon Potato. Anyway. So it could go into that. And so that's another option as well. So those are some pros. It's an easy way to get it published more quickly. The con is kind of along the same lines. I would need to choose my stories like yesterday and then make sure I have an outline for them, because I also do like to outline my stories. I need to make a video talking about my journey from pantser to planner when it comes to my outlining process. Maybe I'll make one of those videos one of these days. Okay, so I wrote out this pros and cons list, and I'm like, okay, I don't really have a whole lot like to go off of with that. So I'm like, let me kind of explore the Hallmark style story. So I Googled and I found an article about all of the tropes in these Hallmark Christmas movies, which I have seen some. I have not seen a lot. They're not ones that I typically like search out, but I've always, ever since I was a kid, I've always loved movies that are like so bad they're good. I feel a little bit like a hipster because I'm like, I liked things like that before The Room was ever popular, you know. I've always loved movies that were so bad they were good. And my sister and I used to, even when we were like in elementary, junior high, used to have like stupid movie nights, and we would just watch movies that were stupid, that we just, you know, but we loved them. There's a charm to them, right? So I understand the appeal of Hallmark movies, and I have seen some, mostly the older ones, right? Like there's one with like Melissa Joan Hart and is Mario Lopez, like Holiday in Handcuffs. I've seen that one. I've seen a few different Hallmark movies in the ABC Family type movies, so it's not like I've never seen them. I just don't watch them a lot. So I feel like I would have to watch a few to just kind of get some ideas going and catch some of the tropes, which, by the way, and I'm not really a trope writer. I like found family, and that's about it. Like, I'm not really a big trope writer, but obviously that's part of the appeal of these stories are the tropes. So I looked up a list of tropes, on this article, and I was reading through them. No, it was Reddit. It wasn't an article. It was in a Reddit post. And it was all these tropes. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love how cheesy this is. I just love it so much. It's so goofy. And I was getting so many ideas as I was writing them. And I ended up writing a whole list down here. It looks like just a big paragraph. Sorry, I got a low battery notice. It looks like a big paragraph, but it's just a messy little list of things. And then I skipped to this page and I started writing on the other page. Not very many, but I started writing a few other tropes. And then I was like, I have to stop and like talk about this before I continue listing tropes, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I want to do the Hallmark one. I think I just needed to like talk it out a little bit and then write that list of pros and cons. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I think this is what I'm going to do. And I was even starting to get some ideas of how I could tie in spooky things into some of these tropes. And I am very excited, I think. I went into this thinking I'm probably going to go with the short story collection because I love short stories and that's what I do. But I went into this, I kind of surprised myself. I was thinking I was going to for sure do the short story collection, but I wasn't super excited about it. Like I was, because I love these story ideas that I would, my selection of story ideas for this anthology. I love all of them and I, want to write them, but I just wasn't really fully feeling it. And maybe it's because I don't know why. Maybe it's because we're coming up on the holiday season, so I was just more mentally thinking holiday. But I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna go with my little, I surprised myself. I think I'm gonna go with the Hallmark style scary Christmas story, and I'm gonna have fun with it, I think. And it's funny, I used to write, not a lot, but like I have a lot of little short flash fiction pieces that are intentionally stupid, like absurdist humor, and I really like that. And I'm like, oh man, I think I'll have a lot of fun with it. And I also think, even though ideally I would, of course, I want to take the business side of it seriously, there's a part of me where I'm like, I just think I'll have a lot of fun with it, and maybe there won't be as much pressure either. But it also might help me write faster because I'll be excited about it. Because I'm a bit of a binge writer, but I can write a lot in a short amount of time if I'm focused and if I'm excited about it. And so I think this could be good. I think this could be really good. So I'm excited. I think this is a good plan. So, that is my plan. I am going to I'll probably work tonight and over the weekend on the outline for the story, and I'll start working on plot and characters and all that. And maybe I'll even watch a holiday Hallmark movie to get in the mood for it. And maybe I'll even find something spooky too and watch both, like a spooky Christmas movie, Krampus or something like that. And I'll just get in the mood. And I think it'll be really good. I'm excited, and I'm excited to bring you guys on this journey with me. I haven't really done anything like this on the channel yet, so I'm excited. Okay, that's really everything. That's all for now. I have to go get my son ready for trick-or-treating, because we have to go run to the grandparents' houses before we go meet up with friends. So it's going to be a fun, busy night, and I'm excited to get started on this. Okay, if you've made it this far, thanks so much for watching, and have a blessed day and a happy Halloween. We will talk to you later. Bye. Last thing, I still haven't finished my coffee, but I don't know if you can see it. There's a little spider that is currently spinning a web in my coffee cup. I don't know how he got there. He obviously just came while I was outside, but I felt like it was very fitting to end my video on Halloween with a little spider spinning a little web. Ooh, I'm getting blurry. Spinning a little web. There he is, spinning a little web in my coffee cup. Okay, bye.